All right. Okay. Peace. Peace. My name is Precious. Peace, everybody. Peace, Sister Kashia. And welcome. Thank you, kindly. Um, well, here we are, and welcome to Movie Understandings. With me, I'm Aki Low or Brother Low. You know what I'm talking about. And today we're talking about Sankofa, and this was a good movie. Um, it's a very interesting one as well. You know what I'm talking about, and it's like a movie play. You know what I'm talking about, where you could do this movie and it could be good as a play as well. You know what I'm talking about. And, and honestly, I also saw it as a horror film, but not for the same reasons that we usually see horror. You know, but the horror of the truth or the past reality of what the movie talks about. You know what I'm talking about? And in that. So, you know, at first, when the movie starts out, um, it's in Ghana. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I like was, start a movie is drumming. And the person that's drumming is the man called Sankofa. And Sankofa is very interesting. You know what I'm talking about? And uh, Shalom, Sister Maneri. You know what I'm talking about? And you see Andinkra patterns, but because you have to be there to know the culture. I can't really get into it, but one Andinkra pattern that I know is the Sankofa bird, and whatnot. And so it's amazing how it was in play this whole movie. You know what I'm talking about, as well as the vulture. You know what I'm saying, and the vulture is a very interesting bird. You know what I'm saying, from the sky, whether you call him a condor or a vulture. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, and so you have the drumming, and we get introduced to Mona. You know what? This is part of the horror, but I understood it. Getting introduced to Mona and her taking that photo shoot. Yeah, but but we see this melanin rich female, and you could tell that she's doing this photo shoot as poorly as it's done. um that she's highly westernized, Americanized. She has colored hair and pieces to Cheryl, and it's a wig, and she's wearing leopard print, wearing a leopard print swimsuit, and it's all gaudy and just a mess, just not, and but then you have she's just not being photogenic, but yet she's in, but it shows the craziness of this dang on photo shoot. P Sham, DJ, but it shows the craziness offset or the craziness in Mona's mind. You know what I'm talking about? And you have the white photographer just like, yeah, I'm gonna get. Oh yeah, I like that. I like that. But you could tell that through these pictures, in the sense that he's sexualizing her, not just for the film, but to himself. You can tell, just by how he says her name and things like that. Even if she is not the best looking chick in the scene right here, because she just looks a mess. I was trying to hold it here, but I can't. She look a mess. you know, but you see how she's basically oh, peace, Sister Deirdre. Um, I guess you would say whoring herself out on camera, you know, and and she's just laughing at it. But then here comes Sankofa, Sankofa with his staff and with the Sankofa bird on it. He can't, bruh. He came off a little too strong. Like he was taking that picture with one hand and, but yeah. Um, but we see cancel Sankofa, and he just stares. He gives that stare of disapproval and disgust. And what does Mona do? Hides right behind the white. He screams, and, but then she laughs at him, with his sharp eyes, and she laughs at him like, you can't do nothing to me. I got my white man right, in front of me. He ain't gonna let you touch me. And after that, you see a scene where that Mona and the photographer is, getting busy. Yeah, he ends like a disappointed grandfather, or not even just a disappointed grandfather, but just a disappointed. I would say, I want to say, well, a disappointed priest, or man, or like excuse the biblical reference, but like when Moses come down from Sinai and he sees the Hebrew just partying up to the golden calf and whatnot, that look of disgust, something like that. And after that we go to the castle, which Mona is again taking pictures, but this time in I guess Ghanaian fashion, and but she's taking pictures. Wow, there's a tour going on. Okay, so it don't say which castle it is, right? But it is my estimation that it's Cape Coast Castle. You know what I'm talking about? Now, mind you, along the coast, it's not just one slave fort or slave castle. There was a string of them on the coast. In the late 1400s, well, the Portuguese basically circumnavigated, through the coast, the western coast of Africa, and when they got to Ghana, more than one place, but when they got to Ghana, they found out there was gold there, and so they built, a trading post like on the islands, the coastal islands, and it became much bigger, you know, um, and they held it for a while, they were, with Prince Henry the Navigator and whatnot, and at first these trading posts or trading stops it was just about, taking the resources. It was about, taking the resources and then starving, the indigenous population, or taking their trade business away from the coast, because they had ships and things of that nature, and now they have a barricade for the indigenous population to no longer deal in hand to hand trade with others, and then the Portuguese, they take the gold and ivory and things of that nature and bring it back to their own homeland, and at one point in time, Ghana was called the Gold Coast. You know what I'm talking about? And then, you know, at some point, all eyes, on the West Coast, and more than one superpower is like, the Portuguese ain't doing it right. We just gonna, I'm gonna be real. Portuguese ain't doing it right. They can't take, they can't man these places and these riches. We can do it better than them. And so, you have other European countries, vying for power of these places along the coast, and at first it was about resources, economics. At first it was about resources, gold and things like that, and trade. And then it became about, the trading of people, us, you, me, and us, you know. But it was still about trade. But now they see, there's a bigger market for the trading of people to be slaves. You know what I'm talking about? And that's what they get into, you know. Now, first you have the Portuguese, right? And then, lo and behold, something I did not know. Then you have the Swedish, and they create, the Swedish Africa Company, which you have more than one colonial power creating these companies. And one thing you see is that these companies have a lot of economic power and governmental power. They have their own standing army, and they backed by the country, the country that they're with and whatnot. Just think of the East India Company, the British East Indian Company, had, and what they did, one place I think of is India, but yeah, and how much economic power and purchasing power that company had in Britain alone. So you had other countries doing the same thing, which I didn't know. So you had the Swedes do it, and they build a wooden fort. Um, on Cape Coast Castle, which it wasn't then. It was a fort. One thing you have to think about is, or if you ever pay attention to the pattern, is that a lot of places, especially along coastal places and coastal rivers and rivers and things like that, they all started off, at least for Western European colonial powers, they all started off as forts. You can go, you can go like let's go here. Think about it. When I think of Chicago, what was the fort? Fort Dearborn. Think of Detroit. It's in the name, Fort Detroit. You know what I'm saying? They all started off as forts or something, and then they become something bigger. you know, and just think about that. Jamestown. It wasn't actually a town, it was a fort. Then it became something bigger. Things like that. Just pay attention to that. And so after the Swedish, they lose power, and then you have the Danish. The Danes come in, Denmark, and they build a stone fort. They build upon what the Swedes did, and they built a stone fort. And that's just the history of Cape Coast Castle. And then you have the Dutch. The Dutch come in, and then they, take a hold of the fort for a minute, and they do some trade and whatnot, and then they lose it. And to who? They lose it to the British. 1664. This is when the British, going on their empire building. The sun don't set on the British Empire, and we gonna go back to run this business for king and country. But it is what it is, right? And so, they take a hold of it in 1664, and then they just transform it into a castle. And actually, Cape Coast Castle was actually the headquarters for the British colonial governor. So mind you, they didn't stay inland. They stayed off. They stayed in that castle, and probably was the safest place for them. You have to think about it. And if you see the guns, where are the cannons poured? Towards towards the mainland. You know what I'm talking about? And you see that this place is not just for the the transportation of slaves, but it's also the political stronghold, like the economic trading base, or trading port, or trading link. Because, like I say, there was a bunch of slave castles along that coast, so you can say that. But yeah, you know, but the main thing that we know it is for being slave forts, and the last hub before slaves were transported on ships to the West Indies, Brazil, Cuba, Mexico, Argentina, Colombia, Venezuela, the 13 colonies, because one American in, but the British colonies, the 13 colonies, and you can even say, the French colonies, and from Louisiana to the Midwest, because it just wasn't the South. It was the whole strip. You know, before British took part of like Ohio and whatnot during the French and Indian War and things like that. Peace, Chief. So yeah, you know, so you have now that we got the history lesson out the way. Yeah, we got that. We see the tour guide explaining what the castle was about, and then we see Sankofa again, and he's protesting that the white people shouldn't be there. This is holy land. This is sacred land. And how their people were taken from here to Jamaica and Trinidad and America and places like that. So would you say these forts, typically the first structures built, were they built as strongholds to gain control of the area, or were they the foundations of settlements? I would say they were built for as strongholds, only because of some of the fact that they're not on the mainland. If you want to build a stronghold for settlement, which they do settle along the coast, but basically it's a stronghold to protect the money. I mean, they bringing in gold and ivory and putting it in these castles, so it's a stronghold to protect the money. Just think of it as Fort Knox. You know what I'm saying? you ain't gonna put your resources, or at least all your resources, on the mainland, which the indigenous population could revolt and raid. You put it on the water. Well, no, not water, but on the islands where you will always have ships coming in and coming out. Taking the resources back home. Because they coming back for the base. But yeah, so yeah, so that's what I would say, Aki Antonio. You know what I'm talking about. And so, he talks about that, and after that, they security guard takes him away, but he got semi-automatic rifle. It's like taking him away, and they kick him out. But one thing the tour guard says, because he knows him, he said that's Sankofa, and he's says he's been charged basically to you know uh basically guide the dead spirits of the slaves, to their final rest. You know what I'm saying? And he tells them how, he pays drums, early in the dawning, what I'm saying, for the slaves, what I'm saying? Which, was cool to me. And so, they go on, and you see, Mona, she goes into the fort, and then she's trapped. And at this point, I started thinking, maybe I can't tell you what I'm talking about. It's like she got isekai, I can't tell you she got isekai into the past. You know what I'm saying? Or soul transmigration, into the past. But it could have been in her own mind. I thought about that as well, how she gets to this place, and then it becomes a conflict in her own consciousness, and she's basically transported back to those, that time, also, the corridor that they called, the the corridor that the slaves had to get on the boats was, the door no return. I do remember that. But yeah, um, so so all of a sudden she says, I'm not an African. That's one thing she says, as a stripper and whatnot. She's like, I'm not African, I'm American. I'm Mona. You can really say, this is like she suffers from I say cognitive dissonance. And she's already trying to say, I'm not like them, I'm an American. Like, that's, but like that's gonna make a difference. But we know that. But she's treated like every other slave, right? They filmed that where I filmed the introvert segment. It's near where I live. You know what, Chief? When you said, saying that, I can't honestly, I thought you was at Elmina. I thought you was at Elmina Castle. I didn't, because that was the famous castle for me, Elmina Castle, which Elmina should be the oldest uh, slave castle. But I thought you was at Elmina Castle, really. But I give thanks, because I do you without, But yeah, yeah. I figured, I'm like, ain't he at Elmina? You look like it. I'm not sure, but is it? Is it? But I'm glad you said that. Give thanks. Give thanks for that clarity. You know, and see, but I understand. But now you understand why you say he ain't go swimming in the waters. If he live that close, I wouldn't swim there either. I like water and all, but uh-uh. No, bro. Um, yes, Elmo, and Castle and Cape Coast, yeah, are similar. There are many up and down the coast. They're all set up pretty similar. Exactly. See, I told you it was a string of them. she, he know he been back home, so that just goes to show you, you really want to know, you got to go back home and check him out. Man. It may you may have a similar experience to what Mona goes through, because it hits home. It hits home very much. But basically, she's transported um, the self we know as Mona, and she's now Shola. Because she starts calling out that name Shola, and it's not like they gave her that name, but that's the name. I don't know. It's not like how you really know slavery and a little bit like that. But yeah, they got Precious Lord praying in the background and whatnot. And the name of Mahalia Jackson, I don't, nobody can do it. But yeah, it is what it is. But she narrates, and she says she was raised on the Lafayette plantation, and whatnot. Now they don't tell you where it's at or what time it is. So I estimate it had to be Haiti, just because one, French plantation, two, sugarcane, three, they got a Catholic priest there. Four, um, the transportation of West Indian or Jamaican slaves. That's what I thought. I'm like, yeah, that's got to be Haiti. That's not America. And the architecture, it was European architecture, a little, like Spanish, but not with the red roof brick or whatever. But it was a European architecture. That's what I thought. After the Portuguese and British exited, they turned the castles in the classrooms. I know people who went to school there as children. It's an embarrassing insult when you're told you went to a castle school. Yep, I would, bro. A slave castle school. That I, I can't speak on it. You know, hey, but yeah. um, and so, it is what it is. So she narrates that, and she speaks of Nunu, and she speaks of Shango. Now, mind you, I'll be honest, Shango was my favorite Dago character. Shango was my favorite character. Not because he was named Shango, just because, he was just no nonsense. You know how them boys from Jamaica are, Brother Antonio, because you like that too. Just no nonsense. They give you that look. They were just cool. They get you with that accent, bro. But you know what they said. So it is what it is. But she talks about how she loves Shango. Mind you, Shola is basically the bad wench for the master on the Lafayette plantation. Thank you, bruh. We gonna talk about that. We gonna get into that, bro. So one thing, when we see Shango and Shola get together, right? He has posing the master food and whatnot. And anybody, that basically ain't one of them posing their food too. And she's like, I can't do that. This person reared me. They did that. You want me to kill everybody. She already showing she ain't about the cause. But she was Shango. It's weird. but it is what it is. Actually initiated to Shango. She danced in the Roots miniseries too. Really? I missed that. I'll be watching, but huh? Was it at the beginning? Cause no, yeah, I must didn't pay attention. Cause I remember the one with the braided hair. But she had the or the one who had the uh okay. Or the one with the yellow. She the one with the yellow. I don't know. But it is what it is. um but yeah. So she don't want to do it, and whatever. Shango shows his disapproval of it, but then we see her walking. One thing you see in that scene, I would say before that, she has a sedity walk. Like, she's a house lady. She got a sedity walk. She got a hand on her hip, just looking at, the field personnel um working. And she looks at one girl, and she just looks at her like she just like she just so high and mighty. You know what I'm saying? If you pay attention, that I was like, why is she looking like that? That's what I got out of it. They eat, like she had Neo because she worked in the house. And probably also she was the master's favorite. But we're not gonna talk. Well, no, we are gonna talk about that. So yeah, you know. Then we see she's sneaking up on Juma. Now for me, Juma is what you call the, the Sabbath for the Muslims. But this woman's named Juma, right? Yes, damn favorite. you know, um, and she talks about Nunu. Nunu. Yes, I'm used to that name being in ATL, and let me know. Okay, but yeah, but she talks about Nunu, um, basically saying some words I didn't even know. But one day I was watching it, and she told me, "Wow, I was so young when I danced to that that movie." That movie was full of quiet people in our small culture community back then. I'm sure it was. Shoot, man, you know everybody. Everybody know you. That's why I like you, bro. Because you know everybody and everybody know you. you know, they know who you is, bro. I like that, Chief. But yeah, and but she talks about her. Basically, putting. I would say saying some words or incantation, having foaming at the mouth, the old overseer. And she talks about it in her country twang. I liked it. She talked about it in her country twang, like she one of them down home girls, and she be like, man, Nunu, she's in the calm. She always talking about people. And what they say is that's mother tongue. Nunu's a calm. you know. She said it so proudly, like she was one, but she was so proud to say Nunu isn't a con. Then you have Nunu just, lying in the shade of the tree, just all serene and calm, you know, like nothing happened. Like she ain't do nothing, you know. Um and whatnot. And you have Shola who looks at her and is like, please let me be like Nunu. She wants to be like Nunu. And you can say, you know, um, it's like an outsider's wish. She wish she could be as strong as her, but she can't, you know. But yeah, and then we get to another scene where we get introduced to uh was played by Alexandra Dush. That's her sister. I don't know, and who doesn't know me, but I looked for her. I surely did. I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did, Chief. But you know a lot, man. You know a lot of people, and they know you. Shoot, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, and so we get introduced to a headman called Noble Ali. Um, just the name. Think about it. And he's messing with a light skinned headman named Joe. And here comes Joe. He's messing with Joe because there's a girl named Lucy that likes him. Looks a little bit resembles Celie a little bit, but yeah, right. But he's like, Joe's is all about his Bible and calls him Bible boy, and he's all about his Bible. And he like, that girl like you, you want her, go and get her. And then he like officiates as a pastor and says, Joe, I give you this woman. Lucy, I give you this man. you know. And Lucy all happy, just hugging on him and whatnot. But then Ali is tasked with whipping the runaways that just came back. And one of them is a pregnant slave called Kunta. Or well, Kuta. Not Kunta, but Kuta. Um and I thought Drake first. Honestly, I'll be real with you, Ike Antonio. I thought of that dude, that model. That girls was fawning over, over his prison, his mug shot. you know, because he had the eyes and the light skin, but just bit. But he resembled that dude a little bit, and I'm like, that's what he looked like, But yeah, really don't want to do it. He's like, man, I just got done with bringing them back. I don't feel good about it, and I can't count. So he tells Joe's like, I don't want to do it, So the overseer say, you gonna do it, or I'm a whip you. So he does it, and Joe has to count. And you see him whipping this pregnant woman. Mind you, if it is what I say, which I swear I believe is hate, you gotta understand it's brutal. I was well, I know they couldn't be as brutal anymore. I was waiting for them, to do something very brutal, especially because she's a pregnant woman. Like cut her open and whatnot. I was waiting for something brutal, but that's just me. Because, sugar plantations was brutal. They were brutal taskmasters. You know what I'm saying? So even though, the commodity of sugar was big business. Mind you, at least in this movie, you sort of see the economics, what I'm saying, of it. Economics is playing all the time, what I'm saying. Um, First it's about gold and things like ivory and things like that. Then it becomes not just about that. It becomes about people because that's how they stored them. They stored them like cargo or a resource or commodity, you know, like they would gold or ivory or spices or anything like that, to be transported on ships and sent back to wherever the destination is. But then, when sugarcane is found, well, found in the New World, and it becomes like a trend for, the rich aristocracy of Europe. you know, like pepper and cinnamon, tobacco, you know. um, it becomes big business to, one, transport these slaves to there and then have them, you know, basically till the land to get the sugar coming back for the base. But the problem is that you working so hard and whatnot. Um, you working so hard that they can't replenish their numbers, and you end up killing them. So we got to we got to spend some more money to transport some more, a new fresh batch because we didn't kill the ones we had. It doesn't get sophisticated, like it does, in the Americas yet. You know what I'm talking about, and but it's all about economics and money. It's all about the money. You know what I'm saying? Money and resources. You know what I'm saying? Um, the sister who played Kuta was played by a sister named Alditz. Her words were so powerful to have no words. That look in her eyes alone set the tone for the film. I say so because, he looks at her. I mean, just just the eyes and just the tone of her face and everything. You know what I'm talking about? It spoke a lot of volumes. But that's it's just not only her. I would say, as he's whipping her and then he looks at Nunu and Juma, they like, he don't really want to do it. The average life expectancy of an enslaved field worker was 15 years. Children of Israel were oppressed. Yes, we were oppressed. The evil, highly, highly brutalized and highly oppressed. And it could, 15 years, bruh. And that depends on what, yeah, you got to remember slavery, well, the first wave, go to the islands and then, they venture out. You know what I'm saying? That's how it goes. You know what I'm saying? But, you see, him doing that. And then, Shango, you see him win. But one thing I would say also in that scene, I was like this. You talk about children of Israel were oppressed, right, Chief? I was like, Musa is the Hebrew. I knew who the Hebrew was. Just by looking at it, I was like, that's the Hebrew right there. And lo and behold, I didn't put two and two together until later on. Like, that's why he's called Musa. Because that was the headband and all told me that, yep, there's the Hebrew right there. But that was my thought. You know what I'm saying? That scene was so physically brutal and psychologically brutal. Yeah, it really is. It's a lot of trauma. It's you can always see like with Ali. He is used to whipping slaves, but he's at the point where he's an older male and he's like, I don't want to do this no more. No, he's growing a conscience. Like, nah, this is not the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? His conscience playing in on. But yeah, you see Shogo. Well, Shango wants to get involved, but but Shogo like, no, Shango. She all up on his back and everything. You don't get yourself killed. What do you know? It was like, did she do it for Shango or did she did she do it for did she do it for herself? I don't know what she did for Shango. You gonna get yourself killed. But then you also have Nunu fighting with her son Joe, with and one thing I like about Nunu is, well, her melodic rhythm of her voice. You know what I'm saying? Everything feels like a song. You know what I'm saying? When it comes out, Nunu mouth, you know. And she's like, "You cannot do nothing to my soul. You cannot do nothing to my soul." You know, you be ready for Nunu to break out a song right then and there. You know, but she's talking about, because of this flesh, we used to be able, we can fly home. You know what I'm saying? We can fly home. But she's hurting that thing because she's fighting with her son and calling him useless and whatnot. But trauma, you know, um, she wanted to save she wanted him to save her from being the master's favorite. Yeah. Mm. Musa was played by Elder Jimmy Lee. Shola Oyefumiki received her Oya prior to filming, and they connect with her. And they connect her with Mutabaruka Shango. Of course, Shola is a Congo expression for Oshun. Of Oshun. So many symbols. Yeah, I thought so too, but I didn't want to assume because I was like, yeah, I see it. You know what I'm saying? But she on his back, Shango. Because just honestly, it was just how I love me some Shango. That's how I saw about the shoe. Like, the way she just said it was just all slow. I'm like, I love Shango. God, no, you know, she. That's what I thought. But yeah, you know. But yeah, and so Shango with this scene, it's like this was not strategic. I was like, this is not strategic. Shango just goes up the hill, and apparently it feels doesn't feel. If that's what I say, it feels like it was in the mind because the overseer shoots him point blank, but you don't see no blood. So here I am thinking it had to be all in Mona's head, because that, honestly, that would have killed the man, but it didn't kill Shango. And they take, him out of there and arrest him basically. And Nunu cuts down Kuta, through all the I guess distraction. She cuts down Kuta, and Kunta's dead. From the strokes, because it honestly, in memory serves me correct. I mean, a person doesn't survive more than 50 strokes, of a whip. So he whipped her to death. But what Nunu does is starts a C-section on her, and while she's doing the C-section and taking the baby out, the other slaves that were watching are guarding her, with their machetes. You know what I'm saying? True. I need sister to say she loves me like that too. And Phoebe scraps in the cave field. You don't need that plantation. Despite the Martha type of love. Yeah, I need that. That's just funny. True Sam. Mutabaruka is a force on the planet. Yeah. Um, yeah. Thought the bullet grazed him. I couldn't see, bro. I couldn't see where it is because it's a ball, at that time. So it has to impact, but I didn't see where it impacted or whatever, you know. But yeah, I want I want a girl to say my name like that too. Well, I love me some love. Wait, goes up. Here we go again. Well, people don't got nothing to do. Um, is what it is. Um, why can't I take this dude out? Mm, all I can do is report them or whatever. I wish I could do more. you know. Already. Anyway, then we have Nunu telling the story of a free A. And a free A means special. But she tells the story of a free A, which was cool, right? And because she got all the kids and like shoulder sis all covered. She got a head cover and everything. You know, not like she do in the morning. Shoulder all spiffy, looking down on the field personnel, acting like she better than everybody because she work in the house. She the best favorite. But when it come nighttime, she be all under doo. She be all under doo, gobbling up her stories. It is what it is. But yeah, but she tells a story of a free A. Man, she was loved by her village and people, and how she got a name. But then we see Noble Ali go to Nunu and thank her and bring a baby basket, wicker basket for the baby. And talks to her, you know what I'm saying, on what was happening and how he really don't want to do it and it's bothering him and things of that nature and whatnot. And also you see Joe talking to Father Raphael, who's a Spaniard, you know what I'm saying? And that's why the movie sort of lose me because you have, Shola talking about Jesus like she's a Baptist Protestant or Protestant Baptist, but she's baptized by a Catholic. You see the conflict. You know, I try to make sense of everything. So yeah, but you have Joe talking to Raphael. I don't know why they call him Joe the Strong because what was strong about him? He what usually you want the big swole dude, call him the strong, but he was called Joe the Strong. He was scrawny, and gentle. I don't know why they did that, but they did. You know what I'm talking about? And so get my glasses. Okay. And so after that, we also see Joe, well, not Joe, but Ali actually just tell Nunu how he feels about it. Like he wants to make a baby with her, but she's like, oh no, I would never be with a head man. And she explains why. But it's I had to dub this part because we seen it in Roots. It's T for strong. Okay. Well, okay. But we seen it in Roots, but I like to call this the Kizzy syndrome. Don't ask me why. It just popped in my head. The Kizzy syndrome. Where you see Nunu suffers from the same thing. Like she's proud of being who she are. She talks about being who she are. She has all these stories. But when it's time to like get a man or something, or a man, is interested in her or something like that, she's like, I would not lie down with you. You are a headman, and you did not say no. We're slaves, prisoners of war, whatever you want to call it. We're slaves on a plantation, and you expect me to say no? What is there else to do? Like she had the mindset that there was something else he could do, and say no, and everything be all right. He can say no, and ain't nobody gonna get killed. He ain't gonna get killed. He ain't gonna get whipped. I mean, he just that just that's why I call it the Kid syndrome, because the same thing happened. But it is what it is, right? But like I say, this movie is very psychological. a lot of cognitive dissonance and whatnot. Um, and so you see Shola, and she chastises. Well, she chastises Shango while he's locked up. They got him like that, and me personally, I'm like, why is he taking this? Taking this for her right now? It's like I'm locked up right now. I really don't want to hear all this. Look at you, drink. She just bother him. Why you gotta do that? Why can't you just be good? You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised Shango didn't tell her about herself, but that's just me. I wanted Shango to say some things, give her some words. um, or she tries to, but you ain't changing. Thank you, Tokyo. You ain't changing the boys. Ain't gonna work. But she tried because she love her some shit. But he ain't changing. you know. But, but yeah. Uh, but and he's like, why can't you be like us, or be not trying to get along, go along, get along, whatnot. Um, but then we go back to Nunu, basically putting the baby on Ali. He's like, I'm a man. And she's like, yeah, now everybody will see that you're a tender man. I want to say, was demasculization or feminization of Ali or whatnot? Because I'm like, is she trying to do that, or she just wants to be? But I want to say it was that. You know what I'm saying? That's probably what she loved about him, his unwillingness to change into that mentality. Yeah, well, uh, he was he was true to that, Sister Kashia. He wasn't gonna change for her, and not only that, he wasn't. He was never influenced by her. He was gonna keep on trying to get free, or whatever, or trying to rebel. Because mind you, this whole movie was about returning back to the source. You know, even Sankofa says return to the source. I already tell you what the movie's about. Returning to the source. And even she talked about it, how, you have to go back to the source to get, new instructions and things like that, in the archives, in the archive podcast. Um, Black Revolution? Or was it Black Art of War? I think it's Black Art of War. Part 2. Yeah. Had to remember. But after that, what I'm saying, we see Nunu and them, mean with the secret society, and they mean with the Maroons, which is another reason why I say it's probably in Hetty. But and then as they meet like a community. They tell them, we had 17 children, and they clapping about that. And then they giving a rundown on basically the supplies that they have. We have this many, I would say, pickforks, um, this many machetes and whatnot. All we need from y'all is seed, and we can till the land and whatnot. But it was basically, they called it a secret society, but it was more like a communal meeting. It was more like a community meeting, if you ask me. But then after that, rebellion happens, which was put down. and Nunu gets sold off. And no, Ali, he loved him some Nunu. Anyway, love, Sally building that community. Yeah, Sally being in that community with the children. So that was something to be proud of. Um, he was like, "You ain't taking her. You ain't taking her." you know. He was gonna fight for his Nunu. Now all of us could get a Laura London type shit, but now he wanted Nunu. But anyway, um, but she says, "I'll be back. Calm down. You know what to do. But I'm gonna be back." You know, and after that, you see, Noble Ali. Sometimes I want to say Noble Drew Ali, but but it's Noble Ali. Noble Ali, he joins the secret society or the insurrection movement. And it's a movement. You see them moving. You know what I'm saying? They ain't talking about things of the ego, like you see most movements do, and whatnot. That's probably what I like about that scene. They was pretty much about business. This is what we got. This is like giving it was like homie was giving a quarterly report, and then after that, it was a little bit of celebration, and then, it was back to business, back to running that business. We're gonna all go back to running that business. We can all go back to running our business. Anyway, so yeah. And so after that, we see Joe meets with the pastor, the father, Father Raphael again. But Lucy watches. Mind you, I'm gonna be honest. I really thought Joe had a sexual relationship the with the Father Raphael. I really thought so. I thought that was where that was leading. I will be honest, because it felt like it. It just felt like I was waiting for it to be played upon, but it wasn't. But you could just feel the tone, like that's what the insinuation was. You know what I'm talking about? But it didn't happen. But you could just see, But if you pick up on it, it just felt like it, especially when he was kissing his hand. Usually, you see that scene, but it was just a little too romantic. Yeah, right? I don't know. It just seemed weird, especially when he went into that confessional. I thought he went into that confessional for the wrong thing. I thought that's what she was there for, to see that happen. So I thought, that situation was so bad that there was no comfortable alternative. Yeah, it was literally freedom or death. Yeah. So he talks to talks to the father, um, and gives confession. But then he meets with Lucy. And one thing that's interesting about Lucy is, I don't know why she wants Joe, but one thing she says is, we gonna have a nice brown baby, Joe. You already see where her mind is at. She doing it for the baby. She want a brown baby. You see the stereotype in there. But they get together. Get together. Nice way of saying it. Get together. But because he's religiousized or Catholicized, by Father Raphael, he feels guilty, by laying down with this one more fornicating, you know what I'm saying? And he kicks her out of his hut or whatever. but This was a play scene, right? This is really like a play scene. Get out of here, you heathen! Ain't I good enough for you, Joe? The way she just said the line, I swear that was like it was a play. Like it would have been good as a play. Ain't I woman enough for you? Or do you need the virgin man? I was like, man, this is good. But it felt like that. It really felt like, they was giving a line, giving lines, but good, Um, couldn't stop laughing. Shay was like, bruh, that's I can I can't tell you. That's why I like Shay. He's like, I don't know why you want all these men around here. You want him, you want a headband, you don't even treat that woman away. He tells her, you know what I'm saying? He tells her. But she just want him to love her. Probably he was Joe's father and the mother Mary. Proverbially, he was Joe's father and mother Mary was his mother. Therein lies the insanity. Yes, I would say that, Chi, because that's how it feels. Like he raised him, and because his mother was African, and historically, if you ever read Destruction of Black Civilization, like I have, Chancellor Williams talks about this, but just not in the colonial slavery, but throughout history, you always have the mixed progeny always shunning the mother, the melanin rich dominated mother, or the original woman who is the mother, and then they go for the father, or side with the father, you know. But yeah, so but yeah, I would say that plays out wonderful to because he had a big picture, and he just looked the way he looked at that picture, like, I don't, mama's what's that dang movie? What's that dang movie with Robin Givens? Popcorn and Weasel. Popcorn and Weasel. It's sort of like that. Popcorn. It's Rage in Harlem. Got Gregory Hines in it. But it's sort of like that. He had turned the picture around. But yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I'll go to Weasel. Anyway. But yeah. It's sort of like that. But you can say that. You can really say that. But that also goes into taking the child away from the mother and raising a good head man for the plantation. The indoctrination of Joe. You see the indoctrination of him through Catholicism. Where he doesn't see his mother as his mother, he sees the Virgin Mary as his mother. You know what I'm saying? And Father Raphael is his father. Yeah, there lies the indoctrination right there. So Lucy goes to Shango. You know what I'm talking about. And we already talked about it, but she's like, can't you just give him something to make him love me? She all in. she all in. She's all in lust and whatnot, puppet love, whatever you want to call it. And Shango's like, really? You see him click his teeth, like, really? All these men around you can have, and you want that? Well, he does it anyway for her, but he gives her instructions. Don't feed him to him at night, feed him to him in the day, or he ain't gonna wake up again. You know what I'm saying? You already know he knows about roots, well, herbs and things like that, herbology, things like that. And then you see Nunu tell Shola about a Frie actually braiding her hair and how her her bad fruit, she calls it, was conceived on the ship. And Nunu just breaks out crying. And then you realize that a Frie was Nunu. And Nunu was a Frie. And basically, you could say at this point, Nunu is the alter ego or the alternative personality for a Frie who was raped on the slave ship and got pregnant and produced Joe. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's how she could cope with the trauma of being sexually assaulted like that, and go on with life, and survive. And you have to think about that, you know. So, but she starts crying, and she's like, I didn't raise him to be no head man. It's like, you know, you sort of didn't raise them at all because you weren't allowed. But I understand, what she means. You know what I'm saying? But I guess there's the cognitive dissonance again. You want them to be something else than what you can really allow them to be because we're all slaves. What else can he be? you know, mind you, yeah, well, you know. And so we also see Nunu initiating new members into the society, but Shola stays on the outside. She doesn't join and whatnot. It's like the part when, like in the movie Malcolm X, when Baines is asking uh, Malcolm to, pick the lock, Malcolm, pick it, and he's like, I want to, because he can't bow. He's like, God knows I want to, but he's just stands. That's sort of what Shola does. But then, just watching, I guess the initiation, she she's overwhelmed and she just runs away. She runs away and she gets caught and then she's whipped and whatnot. But then Shango comes and nurses and she's like, I still want to run. I still want to keep on running. You know what I'm saying? Now that she's been marked with the whip, you can say at that moment, like Chief said in the archives, podcast, all your life you're gonna be known as a runner. Once she ran, point of no return. That's basically like Kunta cutting off the chain. All your life you're gonna be known as a runner, and that's what she is. You know what I'm saying? Nunu is Mama Africa. Give us strength, endurance, spirit, and staying power, all so we can redeem our roots and we turn around and call Mama the devil. Yep. Yeah. Well, yeah. Spot on, G. Spot on. You know what I'm talking about? And but she still wants to run, even if she's whipped. She still want to run. And he's like, "Yeah, you ain't no slave no more. Just go ahead and run, Shola. Just go ahead and run." You know what I'm saying? And then they actually have a heart. Well, I would say a heart to heart talk. When Shola really asking him, why you don't feel deaf or anything. You know what I'm saying? Then he tells her about, basically his story, his history. And he tells her about his friend Jake and his parents and his sister, how they were killed and how he saw them killed. And he's like, I don't feel deaf because I know I'm gonna see, my family again. I'm gonna see Jake again. He like, yeah, he really believes that, that's why I'm gonna feel deaf. You know what I'm saying? But then we see Lucy in the beginning, when the woman is branded, made me think of that runner brand. I was trying to figure out why they were branding her too, because I'm thinking, brother Antonio, you wouldn't mark a slave that you were going to be sold off. You know that takes down value. So why are you marking her? You know, she can't. She, she already on the dang. She in the castle. She ain't going nowhere. She ain't, you know, once you got to that castle, you ain't going nowhere. But you know, the odds of you running away is slim to none. You know, but yeah, and so Lucy poisons Joe's food, but he goes after another woman, and here come moves of like, hey, gotta fight every night to prove my love. What you doing, Mama? I say that's what it felt like. And Joe, you know, they tussle and they fight, and then Nunu breaks it up, and then he starts fighting with Nunu, you know, because she's trying to help him, and sees that he's poisoned, and got him, you know, holding his head and giving him water. They go to the stream and giving him water and whatnot. And, you know, after he wakes up out of it, and then he's like, "Don't come near me, you heathen, you devil," which Chief just told you, you know, you know, we we love Mama Africa, but then, you know, we turn around and call Mama the devil, and which Joe does, calls his mama the devil. Says, "Get away from me." You know, get there behind me, safe, you know. But she's like, "I carried you, you know, here. I was," and tells him I was raped and I carried you. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden he doesn't want to hear any more from her, and basically close her mouth and drowns her. You know what I'm saying? Possibly another psychological tactic, since she was screaming she's not an African. Yeah, yeah, I would say that. But usually, maybe that's the modern um psyche, you know, because remember, she's from another time, and then she's transported back here. So that I can see that, you know, of maybe that torturing to get out of saying I'm not African, I'm an American, I'm Mona, because once after that happens, what she say, Shola, you know. So you on to it, Sham. I would I would say shame killer, but you on it, DJ. Go DJ, go DJ. Okay, but yeah, and so um okay. After that, you see him carry Nunu to, you know, the church. But before that, you know, another place scene, you know, you got Shola saying, "That's your mama," and whatnot, and basically confirms so that he just heard that she was raped and whatnot. "You did that to your mama, Joe. You did that," you know, whatever. And he carries her and sets her on the altar of the church. And here you have Father Raphael's like, "Oh, Joe, you're just like the rest of those. Y'all know the word. I don't have to say it. You know, um, she should have left Joe to die." But Nunu also stuck me as the embodiment of compassion. Like she couldn't do it even if she wanted to. Yeah, yeah, you know, they, relatives, relatives will kill you, you know. But yeah, the brand was just a historical fact, um, but also as a model, with orange hair, she represented Western brand in Ghana. Now branded as an African in America. Either way, the master sets identity. Joe was all new. Yeah, exactly. Because she sure wasn't getting with Ali. She could have had a man, but she didn't want to be. Yeah, but yeah, all. But at the same time, it also, you know, when you say that she, Joe was all she had, right? Because even Shola said, it was like they grew up together. Mind you, single mothers, don't it? You know that. She was a single mother, and that's all she had. Was him, and it was like they grew up together. And Joe also seemed like, killing his mother. It's sort of like an Oedipus complex in a sense, which he sort of does have, you know. In this probably in the sense where he loves his mother, Mary, you know, but he wants to kill his biological mother, which you could say is sort of an Oedipus complex. You know what I'm saying? In hindsight, I guess. Yeah, that's what's so sad about it. Yeah. But he goes there and he said, her name is Afriye, and she a saint. Ain't that right? Now, mind you, if you know the history of saints, some of them died terrible deaths, but they were venerated as saints. You know what I'm talking about? So that's what he says she is. And then he kills, Father Raphael, and then he barricades himself in the church, and they burn it down. They find Father Raphael and they find Joe, but they don't find Freya. And they say that, um, basically a big bird came and carried her away back home to Africa. You know what I'm talking about? Sort of like when, sort of like Dials of Dust when we talk about Ebo landing, Ebo landing, same thing a little bit. But all the time you have the vulture taking, the vulture, symbolize. And think about it, the vulture comes and takes Nunu. And think about how many times, you see that vulture, not just on the west, because I also thought about the east, I'm talking about how the vulture was sacred and Kemetic culture and things like that. you know. Shola saw all the regality and power. Joe saw a problem. It's a paradox of realities. Queen Mother, 1 second, kill like a beast of the field the next. Yeah, yeah. Well, Nunu sort of carried herself as a regal person. You know what I'm talking about, and that's why Shola was like, please make me like Nunu. Make me like Nunu. And one thing we also see is after that, Shola is with Shango. And from a look of it, it finally looks like she's about to be initiated into the secret society. And so, after that, we see, the rebellion happen, right? Oh yeah, they came out around the same time, 93. Yeah, see, that movie reminded me of Dollar. It's just different. It's just different. Mind you, I like Dollars a little bit though. Yellow hair. Oh, that yellow. Maybe it's the accent. It's the accent. It really, it's probably the accent. You know what I'm talking about. Just all that yellow. But anyway, um, you see the rebellion happen, and they orchestrate the attack. And then as the attack is happening, the master all of a sudden he won't Shola in the fields. But it ain't gonna go down like that because Charlotte got a machete and she chopping them to bits. you know, and so she runs, and then you have Charlotte, narrating and whatnot. As she's told to run and run and run, and they say, "Yeah, sister, just keep on going, just keep on going," and she keeps on running, she keeps on running, and then that Sankofa bird just takes and flies off with her. You know what I'm talking about? And then you see Sankofa back, and he just drumming. Mind you, he got more than one drum set up, and the way he just drumming remind me of jazz drummers, man. I'm like, he getting it, It's like, yeah, I totally feel it. You know what I'm saying? He's chanting and drumming, and then you see basically Shola, she takes off, the westernized clothing and whatnot, and she's naked. I guess you could say she's coming out the door and no return. And she's coming out fully naked, naked at Jaybird or whatever. And woman sees her and covers her and gives her new clothes to wear. I guess this, to me, that show why the importance of wearing, clothing from your own people is so important, because in that scene you see how important it is. The woman clothes her, covers her head, you know what I'm saying, and now her whole mental is easily changed, by that, you know what I'm talking about. And then also, when you see that scene as well, you see a little bit of a snippet of Abu Simbel. What is Abu Simbel? Abu Simbel is the temple that was built by Ramses the Great, aka Ramses the Second. You know what I'm talking about? aka the longest living pharaoh. You know what I'm saying? Son of Seti. Seti the First. You know what I'm talking about? He had many children. And you see his temple. The temple that he makes, which sits him and Nefertari and their children. But yeah, you see Abu Simbel. You see a little bit of it, but I like that scene because you see how it was actually created in the mountain. Now I always knew that, but I never actually seen the mountain. I always saw the face. You always see the face, but you never see basically an aerial shot of the whole mountain. And then you like, wow, they carved it out the mountain, and it's amazing. That was the first time I ever seen it, like that. So I was like, wow, But that's Abu Simbel. He's the same guy that fought the Battle of Kadesh and whatnot. I always like the name Ramses, I'm saying? Ramesses, he created his own city, Pi Ramesses, House Ramses. And I'll say he had a bad chick on his arm, and her name was Nefertari. I always like that name because it was Nefertari. Maybe because dang, 10 Commandments, but when I found out she was black, I like that name anymore. But yeah, it is what it is. Okay, Dollars of the Dust, 91. Then you got Poetic Justice. They still go, I can't say the line. Cool Runs, feel the rhythm, feel the right. Minister Society, Kane. Okay, and then Sankofa. Then you got what's love got to do with it? Hey, she can go. The name's mine. Name got my daddy blood on her, but she can go. But the name stays home. I can't say all the lies. That movie. But yeah. It's their area for Morris cinema. Yeah, it really was because they played them dang on parts. I want you to feel from way in here now, way in here, Anime Bullet. An- anime, anime, but do you hear me? Eat the cake, anime. Eat the cake. Anime, just eat the cake. Fine. Oh. But yeah, only love could deliver all those quotes back to back. I could deliver more, but they all got cuss words in it. This is a family show, apparently. So I can't say what I want to say. But yeah, I can do it back. I can do them back to back to back. You know, I see pride. I see power. I see a see that won't take no stuff from nobody. For real, yeah, yeah. I'm like, yeah. Logan did it, yeah. So he gave the list. I can give you the lines. So yeah. So after that, you see her ignore the photographer. He's like, Mona, she don't even pay him no attention. But she goes to the drumming and see Sankofa chanting drumming, to her. And then, she comes and sits for all the rest of the melanin rich people that came, you can tell from America and Jamaica and from the Americas. And they sit on the coast as they listen to the chanting and drumming and whatnot. And they look, stare off into the sunset or whatever, or the coast. And she looks towards and she sees who? Nunu. Look, that ain't even me after dark. That's just I know the movie. Look, I know the movies and I can quote them. I can quote them. And like I say, shoot, man, I can watch those movies. So okay, it's probably how I know them all because you know I had family members sort of say those lines all the time, especially when Love Got Do when it came out. Them all my aunties and my mama they would say lines from you, especially the lines with Annabelle and Vanessa Bell. Well, yeah, was talking. They recite the lines two together. They be drinking something like. I can't do it. But yeah, they be saying those lines to each other and whatnot. When that movie came out, they were just doing those lines together. You know what I'm saying? Then when Poetic Justice came out, my auntie like that, she's used to say those because I be listening to grown folks conversations when I'm not supposed to, but they be like they still gonna f you up, but yeah, you know. Oh, I'm in the coverage already, bro. Already, but that's how I learned these lines. I couldn't watch Harlem Nights, but because I listened to grown folks conversations, I knew the lines. So yeah, you just can't do it on the channel. Yeah, I can't do it on the channel, but you get me. I like it's like when the color purple came out, every sister had to tell us about how all my life I had to fight. I had to fight my daddy. I had to fight my uncles. I had to fight my brothers. I had to fight my cousins. A woman child ain't safe in the house means. Old Joy the move. Yeah, you just a big old heifer. Like I said, fine with me, but every woman had to do till you do right by me. See, it goes on and up. Like they would do those lines like they were auditioning. They were just joking around. And I would just watch them because they were funny to me. So, they were grown. So I watch them and they'll just keep on doing those lines. As they drink it, they cutting back and be like, ha, ha, ha. So that's how I got to be doing that stuff too. So that's how I know all them dang on lines. So but she sees a free egg and then they have a moment And then you hear the spirits of the dead rise up, and receive your bird of passage, and then you see the vulture off in the sunset and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's actually a journey of transformation on Mona's part. How that whole um, castle transformed her from the westernized mindset that she came with, and then she came back, with um, an African, more a more African communal mindset. You know, once she came out of the passageway. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, and that's the movie. You know what I'm talking about? Sorry, we went off on a tangent about how I know all these dang on lines. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, that's how I know. I wanted to be grown and I wanted to cuss like everybody else. So yeah. But yeah, that's how I know all them dang on lines. You know what I'm talking about? And you watch the movies long enough, you'll know them. You'll know them. Especially if they were some, if you saw them as good movies, you gonna remember them. That's probably why a whole bunch of people remember Dang on Color Purple because they thought it was good, really good or whatever, or Five Heartbeats or whatever. Five Part Harmony. Five Part, Um, yeah, when Rocket 3 came out, I was club like crazy. Yeah, yeah. I can't do it. I can't. I thought about it. I can't do it besides saying, "Yo, Adrian." That's all I can say. But quoting Clubber Lang, like it's in my head, especially when he's like, "Hey, why don't you come and get a real man?" Something like that. But I'm not confident in it. You know what I'm talking about? If I actually knew it, because I didn't. I think I watched Rocky 3 one time. you know, the brother who did this film taught teaches film at Howard. Okay. This film explains so much about our journey here in our psychology, and I say so. That's why I say it was more mental than anything. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't his historical. I will say a historical realm. It was more about the mental. I thought it was more about the mental than anything. Especially when it came to Mona and things of that nature and whatnot, and just the journey that she has. You know, no, I don't hate Balboa, but I pity the fool. See, and I would destroy any man who tries to take what I got. See, already who don't like Mr. T, but I mean, cool dude, Mohawk. Only he could pull it off with the beard too, beard gang up. Looking like you, looking like he, he a gang leader, but he look cool. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm the baddest man in the world. You see, um, but yeah, um, this movie was like I say cerebral. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it also tells you that if you ever visit those places, being um, being that you are descendant from that, you're not going to come out of those places not changed because you are. You're gonna feel something. Um, oh, Miss T was the dude back in the day. I mean, from A-Team and whatnot and everything. I mean, I mean, shoot. And I think he had his own toy. This is before my time, but I think he had his own toy too. Yeah, he was cool, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to be like Mr. T, Um, so I would say that. He was dude. In those days, man. He was dude, man. You know. But yeah, that's the movie. Next strong. True. There was a Mr. T character in every video game. But next strong, uh, I changed the list like last minute because I felt like this movie was probably better um, to fit the strong or the time that we're in, since we are talking about elements, amongst a new eyes. I changed the list, and we're gonna be doing Avatar: The Last Airbender, the movie. Not the TV show. That one's good. But we ain't doing the TV show. We ain't doing the cartoon TV show. We just doing the movie. We doing Avatar: The Last Airbender. I know, like, brother Antonio, probably like, yes, because we like it, But yeah, we gonna do Avatar: The Last Airbender. Yes, the movie. You didn't know that was a movie? Yes, that's Avatar: Last Airbender, the movie. I actually went in theaters and saw it. I don't know, Chief. It's okay. Well, it's like when you get to cartoon, once you actually watch the cartoon, then you watch the movie, it's like, oh, they could have done so much more. Now that needs a remake. That needs the dude treatment, like for real. That needs a remake. you know. We'll just treat this Avatar like it's the 1984, and then just give us a new one, with all the special effects and whatnot. I hate the movie honestly too, but it's hey, bro, it's cool though. It's cool because it's based off of a great show. It's just they could have done more. Probably because I liked the show so much. Exactly, we all like the show so much, and then to see the movie, you like, huh? No, 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 no. You don't really get the Fire Nation like you want to get the Fire Nation. You know what I'm saying? You don't get the water tribes like you want to get the water tribes. It's like, but it's a teaching tool. You know what I'm talking about? It's a teaching tool. You know, can't just look at it as, I don't know, for face value alone, because it still teaches what the show was about, even if it's bad. But it does have pretty good cinematography. No, or at least pretty good special effects. To pull off the bending. You'll have to hook the movie up. The only parts I really dug was when he said, "Where the guys now?" and when Generate Iroh um, generated fire from his own chi. Exactly. Like you don't like. There's so many parts, but you don't really, But yeah, I, if we did the cartoon show, we'd be here all day. So had to do the shortened version, which is the movie. The Slumdog dude was a poor choice. Thank you. He couldn't be. No, he couldn't be well. And then you don't have nobody cool being Sokka. Come on, cuz. Come on. you know. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, we'll be doing Avatar: The Last Airbender next strong. you know, we gonna work with the elements. So yeah, that's what we doing next strong. Does the Guru make an appearance? His his air teacher does make an appearance. Oh no, 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 no! I know who you talking about. No, not the Guru. I know who you talking about now. Nope. Mm-mm. Bruh, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what he was thinking. He was like, it's like let me be the Tim Burton of this film. I don't know. I don't I, I don't know. You know, I don't know. Can't call it, bro. Can't call it. Yeah, he talked the shit. He talked the chakras. I know the scene you talking about because he was yeah. So okay, yeah, no banana and onion juice. No, we don't get no banana onion juice. You know, we don't really get to see, earth bending, and whatnot. We don't get to see Toph. That would have been cool. You know what I'm talking about? We don't get to see Toph. We don't get to see, well, we don't get to see a lot of stuff. Oh, but we don't get to see Boomy. Hey, Boomy, you know. Anyway, we don't get to see Boomy and them. We don't get to see, yeah, we don't get to see a lot. But I mean, we can still rock with it. We can make it eat cake now. We can make it eat cake. Anime, if you leave me, I kill you. I said, if you leave me, I kill you. See why we can't do movies, I know. Be here all day. Um, there was one Earthbender scene, which was the nail in the coffin for me. Better come correct. Exactly. You know. Yeah. Yeah. You know. Different fighting styles. I mean, come on. You know what? Donnie Donnie Yen should have been a Fire Lord. Just because he's cool. Yeah. I could see him being a Fire Lord. Like, let's go. You know. Yeah, I can see him doing it. And then you got, I don't know, he'll be making it up. You got Michael J. White with the earth bending because he's bruh, Or Wesley Snipes, yeah. I'm just saying, if we gonna go there, yeah. I can dream, but yeah. Oh, Sham, I don't. You probably didn't see the movie, did you? But it is what it is. Yeah, it's not like the show. I'll tell you that right now. It's not like the show. But a lot of cartoon movies are not like that original show. You get let down a lot, unless with a few. Maybe. Okay, one, in my opinion, Blade the Immortal. If you ever seen that, Blade the Immortal, based off of an anime. I would say also, um, I didn't watch it, but at least the live action was good. Bleach, another one, because Chief didn't watch the anime, but he watched the live actions. Death Note, they had to be good if he could break them down. So yeah, Death Note. Um, I would also say one a movie that's better than that's based off the cartoon. You probably don't know it, but Kingdom. Kingdom, yeah, you know. I just hear Appa. See, yeah, it's off would have been dope. Always my favorite character. Second General, yeah, General, but I like General Iroh because it's Mako. You know what I'm saying? And he always had that cool raspy voice. It just seeing him in so much, and him playing it, um, playing that role, man, because he was cool. Cool Mako was cool. He was cool in the Conan movies, because of course Chief. He was cool in Conan movies, and he was cool in so many movies like Red Sun, yeah, Rising Sun, and things like that. And then he just shined in Avatar: The Last Airbender, bro. There's the album, but not the album. That's the Splinter. Hmm. But yeah, bro. Um, So yeah, that's what we're doing this wrong. So we got Shema New and come out for that one, on I Knew Life Global. Don't forget, bruh, they did Apple wrong. They did Apple wrong. They did Apple wrong, man. It's sad. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But it is what, man. It is what it is. They did a lot of characters wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because Angus is a kid and he's silly. He's always doing things with his airbending. Ride around on it, a ball and stuff. He's being a kid. You know what I'm saying? And whatnot, and they don't make him shine through. But they also don't do that with Sokka, because to me, Sokka was also one of my cool characters. you know. Here's a guy that didn't have earthbend, no type of bending, but he just wanted to be a warrior. you know. Iroh had respect for everyone, enemy or not. Then he did not get the in order agent was doing the jail cell workout for sure, bro. See, what I'm talking about. And it was like, Jerry Iroh could still pull. You know what I'm talking about? And he was always about his teeth. You know what I'm saying? He was just trying to mentor to his nephew. You know what I'm saying? But then teaching him the lightning techniques and things like that, bro. I mean, he was cool. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, slick with the pretend to be seen now. Exactly. You know what I'm talking about? And shoot. Yeah, he was just phenomenal. Secret tunnel. There's a secret tunnel. That's all. But yeah. I want to work out. See? And you can't help but get one of the shirts like I'm Fire Nation or something. All that changed from the Fire Nation came. Fire Nation attack. Yeah, you felt the depth. Like all of the world just changed when they came around, because they weren't. They weren't taking no prisoners. Um, yeah, he is better with his own screenplays for sure. Um, but yeah, that's all. That's all we got for you today. See them. See them off. Shema New, and give thanks to everybody. Give thanks, Chief. Give thanks, Brother Antonio. Sister Deidre. My name is Precious. I know. But yeah. Good things, everybody. And I will see you next strong for Avatar: The Last Airbender. You know what I'm talking about. So give thanks, Sham, for sure. And just do show. I mean, there's still a lot of history. That means, look, brother Antonio, I feel you. I understand. But you gotta understand. Book 1, book 2, book 3, right? And then, in order to break it down, do you know what you have? I mean, it's that is a project. You that's, you know what? If you want to do that, brother Antonio, why don't we just set a month aside for just all Avatar? Because that is a long series. You know what I'm talking about? Exactly. Well, I mean, I know him, but hey, bro, if you want to do him, hey, you making me pay, bro. Because yeah, all the anime I watch got blood and gore in it. Killing, straight killers. Uh, but yeah. So yeah, if you want to do that, bro, yo, come holler at me. You know what I'm talking about? And we put that together. Or break it down per kingdom. Sister do feminine elements, brother the masculine elements. That'll work. That will work. Yeah. I, let's let's set that up. Let's set that up. You know what I'm talking about? Because I can already see I know. I can already see some dinner or something with her little montage and in the background and whatnot. I can already see that. Mm, yeah. How my you call your people already? Phone my agent. Yeah, phone my agent, aka chief. Talk to my agent. Talk to the director. Have him buy the series, and we'll put it. We'll put it in. We'll queue it up. You know what I'm talking about. But for sure, talk to the agent first. Talk to the producer. Of the studio. I can't do it, but they have waterfalls in the Brain Down the Brothers need to have a bonfire. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I hear that. I'm with it for sure, like Brandy. I hear. I ain't about to sing a song though, but I hear you. I hear this dinner. Get the running water sound already. Already. Well, we'll put that together for the people. You know what I'm talking about. Mr. Producer. Producer. That's right. Producer. Malta cocktails, already. So yeah, yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that. We break down the elements. You know what I'm talking about. And that sounds fun. That sounds fun. That sounds like real fun. For sure. Yeah, let's do that. Set that up. Talk to Mr. Producer. You know what I'm saying? And get the director on board. you know, and, and we'll work with it. We'll rock with it. Car deals on fire. I mean, okay, bruh. Just hey, hey. I'm just here for the ride. I'm just here for the ride. I don't worry about that. Long as it's fire, you know what I'm talking about. Fire. Long as it's fire, I don't care about it. You know what I'm talking about. As long as we have fun doing it, I don't care about that. So, that's what the producer want. The producer. You know what I'm saying? It's the producer. Why I feel like Chief need a belt that says Mr. Producer? Why I feel like he would wear that like yeah. Some cowboy boots. I don't know. Why's that like playing in my head? Like Chief would really rock that with some cowboy boots. I don't know. Like my community got me this. You see this? Read the bell. Producer. When you see me, I'm Mr. Producer. I don't know. It just popped in my head. Get me off camera. See, that's when the producer's like, hey, cut his feet. So yeah. Um that's I sure would. And one of those old Charlie and a beret. Okay. Already. You know. But yeah. Give thanks everybody. I'm out. We done had too much fun. It's time to go. But give thanks and peace. Shalom.